here in the Corrupt National Park in Cameroon, one of the protected areas that harbors rich and rare biodiversity. Here, we find such unique and life-saving biological resources as the anti-HIV vine, known by its scientific name as the Ancestroclaudus corrupensis. Another rare and endemic medicinal plant in our country is the Prunus africana. It is reputed for the treatment of prostrate and is found in parts of Mount Cameroon and in the Bamenda Highlands. Yet, they are fast disappearing because of the uncontrolled harvesting. Cameroon harbors a wide range of biological resources that provides solutions for climate, health, food, water security, and sustainable livelihoods.
Cameroun comprend plus de 12 000 espèces et nous sommes classés au 4e, 5e rang au niveau africain. Cette menace qui pèse, je reviens dessus, qui pèse sur notre biodiversité, changement climatique, le comportement des hommes.
Lately, Cameroon's biodiversity has been in deep crisis.
La plateforme intergouvernementale sciences politiques, l'IPBES, dans son rapport de 2019, a démontré que les facteurs de perte de la biodiversité sont la surexploitation des ressources naturelles, les pollutions, les changements climatiques et les espèces exotiques envahissantes. Et au Cameroun, nous reconnaissons que tous ces facteurs agissent.
Man's activities have been seen to be at the heart of the destruction of our biodiversity. Development projects, the growth of cities and population pressure, and agricultural activities are some of the causes of biodiversity loss in our country. Coastal areas like Douala, Tiko, and Limbe, as well as some islands like Manoka, have witnessed shortages in fish quantities and the disappearance of some species due to uncontrolled fishing. In our big cities, most rivers like this one in Ukwe, in Douala, the economic capital, have become a dumping ground for household refuse, sewage, and industrial waste. From the black color of this river and the stench that emanates from it, we readily understand that it cannot be home to any living organisms like fish or crabs.
Wetlands are part of biodiversity. You can say the Wuri estuary is a biodiversity hotspot because here you have specifically the mangroves. They provide some goods. Douala is an industrial area, and so usually an industrial area would liberate a lot of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So like a plant, as part of its growth mechanism, it depends on carbon dioxide, so it absorbs all the carbon dioxide that is produced by industry, so it helps in purifying.
Another big challenge for the government lies in the handling of huge quantities of plastic waste dumped into lakes and rivers that run in our cities. The river Mfundi, for example, that cuts across the nation's capital, is almost disappearing as a result of pollution from plastic waste, despite government's efforts to sensitize the population on its adverse effects on the environment. Nevertheless, several companies involved in the collection of plastic waste and its recycling have been trying to clean these rivers.
Nous sommes ici sur un segment du cours d'eau, le principal cours d'eau de la ville de Yaoundé, c'est-à-dire la rivière Mfundi. Malheureusement, ce cours d'eau est envahi, systématiquement envahi par les bouteilles plastiques à ce niveau précisément. L'impact sur la biodiversité par de telles bouteilles plastiques est évident. Vous savez, nous sommes en plus sur un écosystème aquatique et la production primaire se fait à travers la lumière du soleil dont les rayons pénètrent dans l'eau pour favoriser, n'est-ce pas, la production primaire à travers les algues. Maintenant, lorsque nous avons les bouteilles qui ont complètement envahi le lit du cours d'eau comme ceci, les rayons solaires ne peuvent plus pénétrer jusque dans l'eau, ce qui fait que forcément la production primaire s'en trouve largement perturbée.
Researchers in Cameroon say the build-up of phosphorus and nitrogen, mainly through runoffs from cropland and sewage pollution, stimulates the growth of algae and some forms of bacteria, threatening valuable ecosystem services in lakes and rivers. This is the case with Lake Osa, where an alien species, the Salvina molesta, has made its bed and is now known to be a big threat to all the animal and plant life in that waters. For example, the manatee, a very rare and protected species, is finding it difficult to survive in Lake Osa. The river hyacinth on its part is also invading some of our lakes and rivers at an alarming speed and is a real threat to the plant and animal life in that milieu.
Entre 2013 et 2019, le gouvernement du Cameroun a mis 995 millions de francs CFA pour la lutte contre la jacinthe d'eau au Cameroun. Donc l'opération de la lutte contre la jacinthe d'eau consistait à la collecte de la jacinthe et à la valorisation pour la restauration des écosystèmes affectés. Cette valorisation se faisait à travers la fabrication du compost, le papier, même des objets d'art. Maintenant, en ce qui concerne Salvinia molesta, qui est une fougère d'eau douce qui infeste particulièrement le lac Osa, il y a eu une synergie entre le ministère de l'Environnement et le ministère des Forêts et de la Faune. Ils ont lancé une étude pour la cartographie des espèces envahissantes qui infestent la réserve faunique du lac Osa.
Let's stay in the coastal areas where these mangrove swamps, home for different species of birds, fish, frogs, and crabs, are being cut down at an alarming pace for habitats. They are also being exported to neighboring countries as timber and are also used as firewood for smoking and grilling fish.
In the Uri estuary, the mangroves have all gone. I'm foreseeing a separate legislation on mangrove forests because mangroves are very different from the forest that we find in the south and in any other region.
In the north, far north, Adamawa, west and northwest regions, biodiversity loss has led to climate change and its variability. These regions have been experiencing extreme weather events like drought and flooding. In general, several landscapes are under high pressure, and this is aggravated by intensive grazing and wild bush fires, which either kill or suppress tree seedlings, thus preventing the establishment of a continuous tree canopy. This is why the Minister of Environment, alongside other officials, has on several occasions organized tree planting exercises in an effort to mitigate biodiversity loss. Although Cameroon is plagued by a series of problems, the government has demonstrated the political will to integrate biodiversity conservation into the overall national development policies in the last decades.
En ce moment, nous sortons de la décade 2011-2020 qui s'achève et nous avons élaboré notre stratégie et plan d'action national sur la biodiversité, deuxième version qu'on a appelée le NBSAP2. Et maintenant, au niveau international, la réflexion est sur l'élaboration du nouveau cadre mondial qui devra nous servir pour la décade 2020-2030. Ce cadre mondial doit être validé à la 15e conférence des parties sur la biodiversité qui doit se tenir en Chine en octobre de cette année. Et après la validation et l'adoption de ce nouveau cadre, il va donc falloir que chaque pays parti internalise ce cadre pour s'arrimer aux exigences internationales. Et évidemment, pour le Cameroun, on devrait non seulement s'arrimer aux exigences internationales, nous devrons également nous arrimer à notre nouvelle stratégie sur le développement, la SND 30, qui est la nouvelle vision, le nouveau cadre stratégique qui devra amener le Cameroun vers l'émergence 2035.
In addition, Cameroon has partnered with countries in the Central African sub-region to facilitate high-level intergovernment dialogue to conserve its biodiversity. Furthermore, a network of protected areas and strategies to fight against the killing of endangered animal species has been developed. Cameroon is supported by several partners in its drive to protect biodiversity loss. One of them is the French Development Agency that has been working on a new project called Biodiversité, which aims at making biodiversity protection the foundation of development projects.
L'AFD, l'Agence française de développement, a récemment signé la facilité Biodiversité 30 avec 16 pays, dont le Cameroun, portée par le WWF et l'UICN. Cette facilité vise à promouvoir un dialogue sectoriel multipartite afin de contribuer à des engagements en amont de la COP 15 pour la biodiversité qui se tiendra cette année en Chine. Au Cameroun, cette initiative est portée par le MINEPDED, le Ministère de l'Environnement, de la Protection de la Nature et du Développement Durable, et accompagnée par le WWF Cameroun, et vise, à travers une étude diagnostique, à déterminer les secteurs qui vont être les plus dépendants de la biodiversité, mais également qui ont le plus d'incidence sur elle.
The Worldwide Fund for Nature, known by its acronym as WWF, has been working with governments in many fields, laying down policies and financing several activities.
We work with the government in general on policies. We work as a technical assistant to the government. Concerning the MINEPDED, we are the technical assistant, so we work on policies. We also work on field program, and we work on development activities. We also ensure that they have the capacity to work on what we call the safeguard, meaning the social and environmental impact of all development activities. So we cover all these areas. So our strategy is in line with the government policy and strategy. So we bring support to them, technical support, and in some cases we also bring financial support.
Boussa Boussa.
The conservation of biological diversity and its sustainable use are not the responsibility of government alone. Every Cameroonian must feel concerned. We are all part of the solution for nature.
La nature nous offre de manière généreuse des services, la nourriture, l'habitat, les médicaments. Si chacun à son niveau essaie d'assumer sa responsabilité pour que nous puissions changer nos modes de consommation et nos modes de production pour une meilleure gestion durable de ces ressources naturelles. Nous faisons partie de la nature.
Nous sommes tous interpellés, chacun intervient au niveau de ses capacités. Nous devons tous agir, chacun devant apporter sa contribution pour la biodiversité.